Could you believe that your body can conduct electricity with just a touch of electric charge? In this video, we'll be looking at introduction to electricity, and in this video, we'll be talking about what is electric charge. We'll be looking at what types of charges. We'll also be looking at conductors and insulators. I understand the method of charging a body, and also we'll also look at the. So let us look at what is electric charge. I believe in our various charges, and we've come to the understanding of knowing what is charge and then not being able to explain it, or is it something we see, is it something we touch or something. Now from the board, electric charge is a physical property that is carried by subatomic particles such as protein and electrons. So a charged particle, electric charge is a property that carries two subatomic particles, the proton and the electron, which are the basic thing that constitute an electric charge. Now, you agree with me that anytime there is an electric shock, you feel a movement. That thing you are feeling is charged particles moving through your body. For instance, I think there was a time I was trying to connect some live wires into the wall socket, and I was holding my hands without any insulator materials on my foot, and I got shocked by the electric current. Now, what happened back there? The charge was infused into my system because my body is a good conductor of electricity. So electric charge is a property that carries subatomic particles such as the proton and the electrons. We have the nucleus, atoms in the nucleus that contains the proton and the electrons. So the proton is the positive charge and the electron is the negative charge, which is the two types of charge we are having. The first type of charge is the positive charge, which a positive charge is a type of electric charge that is carried by protons in atom nucleus. The negative charge is a negative charge is a type of electric charge that is carried by an electron in an atom. So you should know that there are two basic types of charges here. We have the negative charge, we also have the positive charge. The positive charge is the proton and the negative charge is the electron. Both are very harmful into the body, and it's very advisable that when dealing with electric wires, you should always wear safety boots and also safety materials to avoid being shocked to death or to avoid discomfort. So we are going to be entering into conductors and insulators. I believe by now you must have known what is a conductor. Maybe you have an idea of what is a conductor, because physics is a science that studies our environment, but you don't know how to explain. Conductor is a materials that allow the flow of electric charge in them. Of course, our body is a good example of a conductor. Water is a good example of a conductor. That is why anytime a live wire touches water fast, even though the water is as long as River Niger or the oceanic water, you will see that when live wire touches the water, immediately somebody at the other end feels the charge because it travels at the speed of light. All metals are good examples of conductors. So we have metals, we have coppers, they are all good examples of conductors. Even conductors are also materials that allow the flow of heat through them. And also you can find out that when you carry your utensils to put on the gas or the electric cooker and you on it, after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the handle of it becomes hot. That is, if it's a pour and insulator on the handle, if you hold it with your bare hands, you will be hot. Why? Because that material is a good conductor of heat, and as such, it can also conduct electric current. That means all metals, all coppers are good conductors of electricity, and not all liquids are good conductors of electricity. Water is a natural substance and is nature, and is a good conductor of electricity. Okay, so let's look at what are insulators. So insulators are materials that do not allow the flow of electric charge in them. They are resistant, they are rigid. So that means if you carry, let's say, a dead live wood and touch any live wire, you see that you won't get shocked. Why? Because the wood is an insulator. It's a material that does not allow the flow of electricity. The molecules inside are very rigid. They are closely packed and they don't allow the flow of charges in them. So that's a very good example. The wood, the rubbers, and so on and so forth. Even the marker molding is a good example of an insulator materials. The clothes are good examples of insulator materials. That's why our safety boots, our safety clothes, those that work in the electric firm, they always wear, they are all made up of basically rubbers and the rest of the materials that don't conduct electricity. So that's why you can, with your hand, you can hold a live wire when you are putting on those safety materials, and you won't get any problems. Why? Because those things you are putting on are insulators. So it's always advisable anytime you are approaching any live wire or any electrical appliances, you should go in with an insulator, with a material that does not conduct electricity. That's why you see that anytime you are walking through your house, you wear rubber pumps. Why? Because it's a good insulator. It does not conduct heat nor electricity, or if anything happens on the ground, let's say there's water on the ground and maybe there's a partial connection on the ground, you don't get affected because it's a good insulator. So that is all you have to understand of what is a charge. It's a property that carries, there are two types of charges. We have the protons, we have the negative, we have the positive. And there are different ways of which charge have been induced in the body. According to in 1745, he discovered those two types of charge. And how did he discover it? When you carry a pen, you carry any substance and you rub it on your head, after some time you see that charge is being induced into that object you use. Basically, ebony rod. We use an ebony rod and rub it rigorously on the foot. After 2-3 minutes, charges is being induced on that rod. And when you carry a piece of paper and you touch it, you feel a little spark of charge in between those two substances, telling you that one of it is a positive charge and one of it is a negative charge. And that is where we'll now later enter into the law of electrostatic that was stated by Coulombs. And it states that like charges repel and unlike charges attract each other. We'll be going into that when we are done with this section of class today. Electric charge, the types of charges, and we also talked about conductors and insulators and how they are very, very useful in today's world. So if you find this video very useful, do it to subscribe, like, and also share it to other people so they will benefit from it.